live from New York City, from Times Square, the center of the universe. Well, think about it. Is there any other place where more people come and gather from different parts of the world than Times Square? I doubt that it's China. Nobody wants to go to China. You tell me where. London is now a Muslim city. Paris is a Muslim city. Rome might make a case, but their numbers are much smaller. What I'm saying can easily be proved by the fact that, unfortunately, the UN is in New York, which means that every country in the world is represented in New York. Is there any other place where that's true? That doesn't mean you have wisdom. We wouldn't have a democratic, socialist, communist candidate for mayor if we had wisdom. But it does mean that we have a great deal of attention. And what happens in New York has an awfully big impact on people's impressions all over the world of what's happening in America. Tonight, the president is at Yankee Stadium. And I guess, I'm not sure if he threw out the first ball.
I feel like
I don't know why.
Well, we would have seen it by now. We have no evidence that tells us he did. He was in the locker room talking with the players before the game, but we do not have evidence that we have no video of him throwing out the first pitch.
And he did show a great many pictures of George Bush recalling the moment in the 2001 World Series. Yeah, I think it was the third game when he showed up and threw out the first ball and threw a perfect strike, even though they moved him back. At the very last minute, they moved him back from the front of the mound to the rubber. So he had to throw it further. The first couple of times, he had to really practice. I was a little worried. They really, Jeter did that to him. Jeter saw him practicing at the front of the mound, and he said to him, "Mr. President, you're not going to do that. They want to see you throw a strike from the right place." And I said, "Oh, don't pay attention to him." And the president did pay attention to him. And then, of course, the president delivered a perfect strike. That symbolism was enormously valuable to Americans. So that sort of, I think, reminded everyone of that. There it is.
We'll put it with sound. Sorry, I don't want to.
Wasn't that beautiful? Look at that pitch.
Hold on.
The President of the United States.
I want you to notice the spark on the pitch.
The energy and the crowd and the noise.
That's the way to do it. If you're not a professional athlete, throw it up high. Or it'll come down to the strike zone. Don't try to throw it hard and still. It's possible somebody would have swung and missed. I got to tell you, that's one of the moments in my life when he got in the dugout. I went like this. Because we were only a few weeks after September 11th. We had already had an additional anthrax attack. Threats every day. I don't know how many threats there were on the stadium. And last thing in the world was that I wanted him to throw out the first ball. And I wanted him to throw the first ball. Can you understand that? And what you just saw is impossible to secure perfectly. We searched every single person that came into the stadium. We virtually had them take their clothes off. By the time when I got there, I checked with the chief. I don't know how many cops we had there. 500, 1,000. FBI. With all of that, you realize that one person can foil the whole thing, as happened with Charlie, right? Took one person on the top of that building to do it, it looks like. So if a president or governor or mayor wants to appear in person for the morale and the support of his people, there's no possible way to secure his life completely. That doesn't mean you can't do the best you can, and you do a lot better than they've done for President Trump. but it does mean you're always at a point where no matter what you do, just one person who can shoot fairly well can defeat you. Of course, that's what happened yesterday in Utah with the brutal, savage killing of a young man who, after all, preached the gospel of Jesus Christ and the benefit of logical discussion and argumentation, like a modern day Socrates who walked among the students of Athens and sat in squares and discussed propositions with them about which they would have brutal arguments. Read the dialogues of Plato. Plato was Socrates' scribe as well as his own philosopher. So Plato's works, most of them, are, I would call them short stories about debates conducted by Socrates on points like corruption in government or adultery or moral subjects, in which he examined every aspect of it with the youth of Athens. What did he get for all that? They poisoned him. They poisoned Socrates. They poisoned Socrates because he was developing a citizenry that would be too well educated, too powerful for the potentates and the dictators and the small-minded little people to control them. So this is a story as old as the beginning of time.
And Mayor, we want to put these images up. The FBI has released multiple photos of who they believe is connected to this shooting. If you have any information, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Is that picture up now on the...
These pictures are up on for all of our viewers to see. Share these with your friends, especially if you're in Utah, surrounding states.
How do they describe that when they put this out? How do they describe this? What does the FBI say?
So the FBI has put this out. We will bring this up here. This just being released about 8 hours ago, earlier today. The FBI in Salt Lake City is seeking information on this individual regarding the shooting at Utah
they just
Valley
put him out as
University.
a person of interest in connection with Charlie Kirk's assassination. Correct? They don't say he was the shooter.
No, correct. That's all they say is this is the only statement on these pictures. Quote, "We are asking for the public's help identifying this person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University. If you have any information on this individual, the FBI is asking you to call 1-800-CALL-FBI.
That's very effective. Do you have any idea how much the public can help in an investigation in trying to find a killer? And when you know how to utilize it, and I'm very, very glad the FBI did that, it shows a change in process from what was becoming a really second-rate law enforcement agency to one that's setting the pace. We saw the director today and the deputy director, Dan Bongino. And some people question whether they should have come to the ceremony. I thought it was beautiful that they did. They showed how important remembering 9/11 is. We need to do that for the next generation. They need to know how important this is. And of course, the simple reality is, I mean, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are brilliant men. But the FBI has investigators, when you find the right ones, and I sure found them throughout my career, that are brilliant. This investigation isn't going to lose a beat because Kash Patel and Dan Bongino went to remember an enormously significant day in American history that is still part of our present and still part of what they're combating. I mean, it's monumental, the problems that a person like Cash and Dan Bongino have. You'd have to have been in law enforcement to understand it. It's much worse than anything I can think of facing because there's so many unknowns. So now, any idea on where that guy is? I mean, is there sort of a description of a scope of geographic territory he might be in?
Right. So we are learning further information. The FBI, local authorities have released further information, of course, throughout today. So we will update you with the latest. Of course, we've shown you the pictures. We'll show those again shortly here. The suspect is believed to have jumped off a roof and fled into a neighborhood after firing just one shot. And this individual has not yet been identified. However, these photos have been released. Previously,
they haven't put a name on him.
They have not put a name on him. Previously, they've announced the recovery of a high-powered rifle that may have been used in the deadly attack.
Well, that should be pretty easy to figure out, because I assume they recovered the bullet. I mean, I can't imagine they did. It went through his shirt and then landed on the ground. So I can go there and recover it if you want. But
right. So
I think they've recovered the bullet, so they should be able to connect it to the gun. And when you say a rifle is a very, very sort of ambiguous term. What does that mean, a rifle? Do we have any idea? I mean, they may not have said, so we don't.
Well, yeah. We have seen numerous reports of something close resembling a 30-06. So we're going to try and track that down. Sorry, folks.
The longest range they have given for this shot is about here. Want to show it? This is from what we did.
Oh, this is what. Okay, so we've created this last night.
Changed at all.
No, you know, I'm going to take the Chiron down. You can put it back, blow it back up, Mayor.
There it is.
But you can.
So you see the two circles. The circle against the building is where Charlie was standing. The circle on top of the, as
you can expand that a little.
As Ted says, the circle on the roof is on the roof.
Oh, you noticed that roof?
Of course, I noticed it.
What do you say?
Roof.
What is it? That sounds almost.
But in any event, we're not going to spend our time on roof or roof.
But yeah, this is very important here, as the mayor describes what we're looking at here.
That is not exact, and it's very important to get this. I mean, if I were doing this professionally, this would be one of the things I'd be concentrating on, which is the angle of this shot. Because when they tell you, and even the president seemed to be dismissive of the fact that he may be a trained shooter, I find it hard to believe that someone other than a relatively well-trained shooter could get under that awning. If what you're talking about is what I'm showing you, which is a shot of 200 yards from the top of that roof to the building, that is a relatively easy shot. It's not. I think the chance of actually shooting and killing the person there, if it were wide open, is probably about 70%, 60, 70%. Believe me, any shot can go wrong. But the minute you add to it the fact that there is a tent over the head of Charlie Kirk, which means that when you're shooting at that angle coming down, you have to get under that tent or through it. That's a difficult shot. It's also a very smart shot because it leaves the shooter with the ability to escape and get out of sight within seconds. All he had to do, if you go back, if you see that building that's blocking him, if we move him over just a little bit, I don't know if I have a thing here for it, but if we move him over just a little bit, you can see that he's blocked by the white roof.
There it is.
So
Right.
what I want you to think about is, if you're really organizing this right, and you're a professional, that's the way to do it. That's the one angle where you can get to Charlie. The rest obscures you for more than enough time to get away, because that building is in the way. So people start looking back, and now, luckily, there were people. You see the arrow on the side there? See that arrow there on the side? Okay. Well, that arrow is where somebody was taking video. And that's how we got video of the guy on the roof from the side. And you see him walking back and forth. Now, the video of his face, where does that come from, Ted?
Those are
We know where in the sequence of things that was taken.
so that is a good question. We'll try to track that down. Those were released by the FBI. They may not want to tell us where at this time. They can't.
Well,
they
you
got
make
those.
you make a tactical choice.
Right.
You try to withhold some facts about a murder like this, so that you don't get false confessions. It's very hard to believe. But one of the things that afflicts investigations of major importance, political or public, is they're going to be subjected to 4 or 5 false confessions.
Okay. Wow.
In order to immediately discount the false confessions, you'll hold some facts back that only the killer would know. And then when the person doesn't know that, you realize that they couldn't be the person who did it, and you can get rid of them, because otherwise they'll tie up your investigation for 3 or 4 days.
So what you're seeing now, Mayor, and to our audience, is what TMZ is describing as security footage captured before the shooting, which shows this person of interest walking down the street.
Now, we identify him because he has the same, it looks like the same shirt.
And again, this is TMZ reporting this.
So this was just random footage they took at the time. They had no idea.
Security footage from a home.
Doesn't he look like he's limping?
It does appear he's this is speculation.
He's carrying
hiding the gun.
Well, it looks like he's carrying something very heavy.
Or something very long and straight.
But if it
watch this again,
and it
Mayor.
was just long and straight, would it make you walk like that?
Yes, because your knee wouldn't bend, right?
I guess.
He's got this is obviously speculation, folks. But one reason, or he has a limp. Obviously, folks could, But to me, it shows he may be hiding the gun.
He had one of the description was that the man had a long rifle.
Right. And that would, to me, that's my initial reaction. That doesn't make that the case.
We're looking at him before the shooting and walking toward the building, I assume.
Walking in a nearby neighborhood. Oh,
here they show the end. This is when he's leaving, running away.
so this is now this portion of the film is him leaving. Ignore the 2 people walking in the front here. I'm not saying ignore forever, but right there, that arrow.
Well, this is when he came down from the roof.
The roof. All right, well, keep going. This is after the shooting. That red arrow is the person of interest. And you got those 2 people in the front, which is interesting, walking.
Yeah, but
3 people walking.
I don't think they know what the hell's going on.
No, they don't know at this point. They probably have no clue. So what this is
So who's following him with this camera?
no, these are
no.
cameras on homes, probably security foot. A lot of
So
homes
they're
now have
going from
ring.
camera to camera to follow. They're going from camera
Oh,
to
I see
camera.
what you're saying. Yes.
This is a different camera than
Yes.
the original. So they're going from camera to follow his movement.
Well, notice these 2 people down the bottom. I got to take this
They're
Chiron off.
they're waiting for him to emerge, because that's the direction he was going.
But look at those people in the bottom right. They now seem to be ducking. They seem to be reacting to something, right? See those 2 people in the corner? Let's see if we can get rid of that.
It almost looks like somebody was shooting at him.
Right. So let's see if we can hide that. Oh, no, there he is. There he is. All right.
There he goes. You can see him.
So here he
He's like
comes.
a little rat.
The arrow. They'll put up an arrow to help you. There he is.
There he is.
And he's coming out. He is walking pretty fast. So my question is,
So let's begin with the fact that a trained hitman would not be running. How do you call attention to yourself? You run. The best way to do a hit, do it and walk, like you're just part of the crowd. I don't know if the people would have paid attention to it if he just walked out of there.
Right, Mayor. I have a lot of questions, of course, and the fact that a really highly skilled hitman isn't leaving the gun, isn't probably not leaving the rifle in the woods, right? Unless they're able to wipe their fingerprints.
I think this was a guy
if it was a ghost,
that had
truly a
some
ghost
training in marksmanship. Some. He wasn't like a
and
novice.
got lucky.
I don't know that he was like a number one marksman.
Right. And that's not the right word, but he was a little bit trained and happened on the first shot.
But we'll find out. He's either going to be a trained marksman or very lucky.
And if you had a gun,
Very lucky from his point of view.
Right. That's right. I hate using that.
From the rest
Unlucky for the rest of us, right, Mayor? So, but in our audience knows what we mean by that. Again, so we'll put these pictures up. They are grainy, but if you share with your friends and family in Utah in this area, and contact 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI. And that's the latest at this hour.
Are those all of the pictures of them that we have? Have we shown them?
Those are the two, yes. And I'm going to put them up on social media.
Yeah, I can see that. Although I don't see it. I don't see it right there. I don't see a
you
gun.
don't see the gun.
Right.
But if you had it in your pant leg, that's exactly how you would walk. Just exactly.
I'll play it one more time here. This is TMZ. This is TMZ footage.
I wonder why they were shooting him. Why? What made them? This is before the shooting.
This is before the shooting. This is a camera, Mayor, security camera on a home.
This is a security camera
on a home.
Nobody was shooting him. This is just captured on a security
this is just a stationary security camera.
That makes sense, yeah.
Like a Ring doorbell type, but not that brand. I think it's a different brand.
That's really excellent that they have that.
Nowadays, that's huge for law enforcement. A lot of homes have these.
I wonder if the quality of it is such that you can actually hone in on and develop all the features of the face.
Yeah, you can hone in on it.
And it would really require how good a camera it was.
And AI technology actually nowadays.
Yeah, but you can't tell from that. It looks like it might be able to.
And this person, and look, that is an odd place to be running, right? It appears he's at the base of a hill.
You showed us pictures earlier where you got a pretty good look at his face.
Right.
So be on alert. He could be anywhere. I mean, it's a big country, and there are any number of possibilities as to way to escape. I mean, it could be in Mexico for all we know.
Well, at this point now, we are 30 hours post.
Well, we're getting into dangerous territory as far as solving a murder. Most murders get solved early, and it's going to become more of a challenge. On the other hand, there's a lot of raw evidence available, and we've got probably half of law enforcement involved in it.
Right.
So, I mean, the good thing about putting that out is every policeman in America sees that.
Right. So
if he ends up in, I don't know, San Diego, the cops in San Diego will know about it.
Right.
That's the way you use television and the media usefully rather than to exploit it.
Right. And I mean, look, and I know you don't want to toot your own horn, Mayor, but you use the media for this way.
I caught a terrorist that way by putting his picture up, several versions of his picture, because the guy, if he's smart, is going to change a little bit of the way he looks. That if he's got any brains at all,
yeah,
that black shirt is gone by now.
Right, and right.
I mean, they're looking for a black shirt,
and
you better wear a white one.
What was the famous case outside Spark Steakhouse? The two killers who took down Paul Kessler.
Took off their trench coats.
Yeah, so everyone's looking for two guys in trench coats.
The witnesses said, look for two tall guys in a trench coat. Halfway down the block, the trench coats were on the ground, and they were in a leather jacket and a suit. But nobody was saying, look for a guy in a leather jacket and a suit. That's a trained guy who's paid $1 million to do a hit.
Right. So this is.
I don't know that this guy was such a person. We have no idea at this point what his motivation is. Given the things that Charlie was involved in, you can make reasonable assumptions, but that's all they are.
But you're right, Mayor. If this person has any brains, that black long sleeve shirt is now a
It even
pink
has a very
t-shirt
distinctive
polo.
Monogram on it.
Right? And the yes, so he's got
a hat with a
the
distinctive
hat's
monogram
gone,
on it.
sunglasses are gone. Maybe he has long hair tucked in under there, and he's wearing a pink polo and brown cargo shorts, right? Something totally different than this. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but that's what we're facing. As the mayor said, every hour counts right now. So we do want to urge our viewers, and
what we can tell is he's a fairly young man. That looks like a man that's 35 or less, right? Yeah, it could be in his 20s. Okay, that's about all you can tell, that he's a young man.
Yeah, so I guess what we can take from this is the build, right? You can take the build. His shoulders seem to be pretty rigid, pretty square shouldered, not big muscles.
Yeah, he seems
but
wiry.
Wiry is the word. There you go.
If I were evaluating him for boxing, I would say wiry.
Wiry
and long arms.
Long arms.
He looks like
soft
like
jawline.
A solid man. He doesn't look like a weakling.
Well, yeah, kind of wiry, like you said.
No, yeah.
I don't consider that. So these are the two pictures we want to make sure we put them up. Share these, pass them along to anyone you might know in that area.
Pictures.
Right.
If somebody knows him, they'll say, "Hey, that's what's his name."
I don't know if you could. Well, you can. You can change those pictures and show him with the hat off and shaved.
Yes.
You can shave him and show that image, because that's the way he may be appearing now.
So will they sometimes do that? I mean, they've done that for years,
Oh,
right?
100%, yeah.
And now with AI technology and that,
Much easier
you'll see some enhanced photos.
and much more accurate.
Yeah. We haven't put those. Maybe we'll put those up.
I mean, the minute you do that, you're introducing distortions. But
yeah, that's why I haven't
those
put them
distortions are much less now than they were 10 years ago.
Right.
And
As
I
the
think
technology
it would be
advances.
effective to put them out. I can't believe the guy is in the same outfit now.
Okay, so let's get I'll show you some of the AI. You'll find these interesting, Mayor. And I would like your opinion on this. So
we're going to end up with a real dummy if he's in the same outfit.
right. And by the way, our own White House correspondent Kara Castronova was able to ask the president today.
President thinks he's not a professional.
Well, he didn't say that. I'm kind of reading into his response to Kara, which he didn't want to say.
I mean, it's hard to know.
Yeah, and maybe he's just exercising extreme caution, which is obviously there's nothing wrong with that at this point in the investigation. Not to say.
So if you look at the people with motives that we know of to kill Charlie, they would be people that were very passionate and angry about his views on social issues,
right?
Which were largely mainstream Christian views that have prevailed for the last 2,000 or 3,000 years that the left wing now disputes. I think it's really, really strange when the animals on CNN and MSNBC say he had very divisive views, when the views that he had have been held by civilized people for about 2,000 years, like there are only two sexes, men and women. That's been pretty much our both religious belief and scientific orthodoxy for who knows how long. Now, you want to challenge it, fine, but don't paint me as the rebel.
That is, so this, what you're seeing now is an AI enhanced version.
Well, man, that's a terrific enhancement.
AI enhancement. This is
how
the
good is it? I don't know.
That's the original.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
This is the enhancement.
Yeah, I question the nose. I think the nose.
And the nose is a big feature, right? You got to get that right.
Yeah. We're only seeing.
You see how much narrower and sharper it is. Take it back.
This is the original.
It's blurrier now. So
I'm not sure that nose is as sharp as that, and that will throw you off. I don't know.
Right. That's grainier footage. That's the original footage. So people have been running it through AI models to enhance it. This is the enhanced.
I think it's
AI
excellent
version.
on the rest of the face. Though.
Well,
You
they
see-
don't know. Again, AI.
You see how
perfect.
difficult it will be to catch him if he changes?
Yeah, this doesn't have. I mean, the guy looks just like you said, Mayor. I mean, that I can't read anything from this.
Looks like the same guy.
Well, yeah, because of the hat, the glasses, and the shirt, right? I mean, a lot of men in their 20s and 30s have this build.
And we don't
That
know.
shade
We
is-
don't know what kind of hair he has. It could
And-
be if he.
right.
He could be very distracting.
He could be. He could have a big thing of hair puffed in there, right?
Yeah.
If he's,
And there's no help on where they're looking for him. What part of the country?
So, what part of the
Still in
country?
the
here?
far west. I mean, I thought if he was going to go to Mexico, he'd go to Tijuana.
Well, the
It
videos
was-
we saw were just outside. Oh, the video was just in the neighborhood next to where this shooting had taken place. At this time, we are monitoring FBI statements to see where they're at with this. Maybe it's strategic. Maybe they're strategically not giving us everything they know.
I think that
Yeah, that's always true.
They have a gun. They have footage, pictures.
chicken doesn't leave
This
the
does
box.
appear to match the eyewitness accounts we heard yesterday, right? Of a man in jeans and a black shirt. So there's that. So I think we can now, right, take the individuals that reported those facts. That they seem to be, their witness statements would probably carry more weight, right?
Mhm.
Because that part of what they said yesterday matches jeans, black shirt. So maybe go back to these folks that reported that and see what else they saw, where this gentleman went, where he came from.
And where is he now?
And the mayor's asking the good question, right? And of course,
Where is he now?
years in law enforcement and doing this sort of work at all sorts of levels. Where is he now? And it is concerning that we're not getting an answer on that. And my only hope is that it means they got him pinned down and they don't want him to know.
And maybe they're trying to play it out to see if other people are involved.
And see if other people are involved.
Because
money
if
talks,
there are
right?
other people involved, they will now be helping him escape. Right?
Ah, yes. And I guess when you increase a reward, I don't know how dedicated folks are to a cause like this, but that usually,
Oh,
if
yeah,
the
sure.
award goes high enough,
Just think
People
about
in
it. Yeah, of course. All sorts of people get involved who actually are pretty good at this. I mean, you motivate them.
yeah.
Who are good. I mean, they'll do it only. I mean, they're not necessarily good citizens. They just want to make a lot of money, and they're good at it.
Yeah. But I'm talking about
Like
flipping. now.
bounty hunters.
Yeah. But so there's that side of it. Now I'm talking about the FBI reward. They're now at, I think, $100,000
Yeah, that's a
for
good
any.
reward.
So can you get people to flip the other way? Whoever's behind this.
You mean
Obviously-
somebody who has some involvement with it wanted to
Yeah.
pick up the $100,000?
Yeah. Or would they be in a tough spot?
Yeah, it depends on how involved you are.
because we're not you're not getting off the
If
hook.
if you're not giving yourself away for 100 years in jail, sure.
Yeah.
So if you're giving yourself away for a possible
yeah.
parole or
But if you
probation
have
or 1 year in
yeah.
jail, sure, a lot of people would take
if yeah.
100,000 for 1 year in jail.
But if you have information on this guy tonight and you're not coming forward, at what point are you an accessory to the crime? Are you aiding and abetting a
You
fugitive?
are. If you know where he is, you're an accessory after the fact.
Unless you report it right away.
Right.
How much time do you get? Let's say he walks
Half
in
a
this,
day.
Let's say he walks in this hotel room.
You get what is not very helpful, a reasonable amount of time.
And in this case,
say half a day.
yeah. Okay. That'll be interesting. I just don't see how someone can collect this $100,000 reward and know where this guy is at this point, right? Unless you're a bounty hunter or something and you're out there looking.
Well, there
get
are
them.
bounty hunters.
Yeah. Oh,
And
who
when you
want
put-
that money?
You put money out like that,
Yeah.
they're all
They're out there now.
you get them all involved.
And conservatives who love Charlie, right? And people that love Charlie.
100%.
So there are people out there right now.
Yeah.
You're right.
Which bounty hunters probably are conservative.
I can't imagine they're not going to find him. I can't imagine they're not going to find him within the next 2 days. There are just too many people motivated to catch him.
Right. And
And
of course,
they have too much evidence. Those pictures are a lot more than you usually have. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's Coffee.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. Well, welcome back. This is the Rudy Giuliani. This is America's Mayor Live. I was back an hour. This is America's Mayor Live, coming to you from Times Square in New York City. And I believe that we are going to have on my good friend, who I saw this morning on September 11th, the ceremony, my rock, when we were dealing with September 11th, the former police commissioner of New York. No, actually, we're having on John Houvain. I thought we were having on Tom Von Essen.
Yeah, we'll have Tom Von Essen on very soon tonight. We're minutes away from having.
Yeah, we lost. Wonderful. Well, the chief of security, John Houvain, who was at my side every moment from the first warning that there was a plane that went into the building until we went to bed that night, and almost died with everyone else. Great guy, John Houvain. Terrific policeman and detective. John?
No, he's going to connect in just a moment. We're waiting for him to connect.
Okay.
He's about to, but in the meantime, sorry, folks, a lot of moving parts tonight. Somber day.
It's unbelievable how many terrible things have happened right around September 11th. We still have the Charlotte murder that was, of course, that happened on August 22nd. but it was outrageously covered up by crooked Democrats who should really be in jail for doing it. The governor, the former governor, the mayor. The police department has a video with this guy walking around the train saying, I got the white woman, I got the white woman. And they cover it up for a month and a half. What the hell's that but racism? We're not entitled to know as white people that there might be a danger to us. And then, I mean, that's completely exacerbated by the fact that nobody, and the people on the train, at least right next to her, were all black. Not a single one of them does anything to help her. There's not a single indication of human connection. That's after she was stabbed and bleeding to death. And the guy was gone. There was nothing to be scared of. It was just sort of a decision that you'd rather see her die, which is what he was appealing to when he was telling the people, I got the white woman, I got the white woman. He was trying to stop them from helping to incarcerate him. Maybe he'd be sympathetic with him because he got a white woman. Just think of how dangerous that is if that is the thinking, and how much you've been hidden from that, to the extent that so many have been killed as a result of it. But
that's right, Mayor. So another unfortunate, tragic situation we're following this evening, coming out of the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, which is about an hour or so from Washington, D.C. So we want to give everyone an update here. The gunman did open fire. Multiple people have been shot. They do have the name of a suspect. We're going to wait to report that.
They have a name.
That name. Well, some folks are reporting a name, but we always want to wait for at least a few reputable sources.
What's his background?
They're saying that his background is he was expelled just yesterday.
He was expelled yesterday
and came
from the
back
Naval
today.
Academy. This is the beginning of the semester. So he gets expelled at the beginning of the semester when he's showing up.
A midshipman was kicked out of the school yesterday, returned dressed like law enforcement, and started knocking on dorm rooms before opening fire.
And they don't say why he was dismissed.
They are not announcing why he was dismissed, but there are multiple reports that the suspect is dressed as a police officer. He is carrying a weapon, and he is inside the secured campus. U.S. Naval Academy military and local police are sweeping building by building, and students within the last hour have remained on lockdown as this manhunt
Is he
continues.
still shooting?
That we don't know. That's the thing, right? We had seen reports that there was no active threat. I believe that may have been to the city of Annapolis. So again, unconfirmed reports of at least 3 casualties. Now, casualties do not mean death. Casualties mean injured.
Right.
It's important to note that.
Are they cadets? 3 cadets?
We don't know the identity of these 3 individuals, but based off of what they're saying.
And what?
And by the way, it's the governor's office saying there's no threat.
And what about?
That is odd.
Well, the governor is useless.
That's odd timing.
And the governor should just
How do you have it?
admit that he shouldn't be involved in serious things.
Yeah, if they don't have him in custody, how the hell did they?
So we're gonna have to Governor Moore. This guy.
Yeah, he's a complete nitwit.
Oh my gosh, he's bad, and they really talk him up.
Just
and
a make believe.
Without saying it, we know why the media is
make believe media.
Right. The guy's, yes, he's so underwhelming, and maybe we don't want to make tonight about partisan.
He will say whatever woke jerky thing the Democrats are supposed to say today.
And and maybe to your average person who isn't paying attention, he comes on TV, he says these rah things.
It's painful.
Wow, maybe the line of the night. Thinking is painful, and we can take that. I don't want to stretch it here, Mayor, but the fact that they can't think and they can't argue with us on the battlefield of ideas, they resort to killing.
Maybe that's one of the reasons Charlie was killed.
Oh, no doubt about it.
They couldn't deal with him logically, so they had to kill him.
No doubt about it. I mean, what did they do with the communist purges?
And he's a long-term danger to them. He's only 31 years old. This guy could have been a 50-year menace to them.
No doubt he would have ran at some point in his life, most likely, a presidential run. He at least would have ran for president,
Appealing to the youth. You want to really piss off the elitists.
And now we are joined by someone very close to the mayor. As the mayor has said before, this gentleman was his chief of security on that fateful day 24 years ago today. We want to welcome to the show, John Uvain.
John, how are you today?
Mayor, I'm sad.
Yeah. We always are, but it's a little worse today, huh? After everything else.
It is, Mayor, so you really are in tuned. But today I saw you being given the recognition what you suffered over the last couple of years, that people are coming up to you and starting to realize what an amazing leader you are.
Oh, John, thank you.
And sir, I was in the front row. You were ahead of the curve on every incident. You understood the big picture. And what makes me sad tonight is I remember doing this last year with you and Bernie.
Yeah.
And we were joking and talking about how things were going, and the loss of an amazing police commissioner that you appointed and had great trust in is no longer with us.
You remember when we got down, when you got me down to ground zero, the first person to come up to the car was Commissioner Carrick and Joe Loader. He rushed up to the car and took us over to the fire department command post.
That's true. Pete Gansey, and who we spent the day before in the Bronx opening up a firehouse. And Father Judge was there.
And that was their last full day on earth.
And Father Judge, while he watched people escaping the blazes, he was praying for their souls. But Mayor, it has been an amazing year that you've been indemnified, and the best way of putting it is everything you were doing was for the betterment of the country. And to see what's happened to Charlie yesterday, it breaks my heart. Frank Stewart was...
You are a retired, among other things, you were head of security, but you also were a New York City detective, right?
Yes, sir. And
that's a pretty brutal homicide that we saw. I don't think I've ever seen as much blood come out of a man's throat.
Sir, I can't look at that photo anymore.
Yeah, and you've been involved in shootings, my friend.
And they were talking about praying for him when I saw the blood come out.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, this is a homicide.
Yeah.
And when we look at somebody that, people have very strong points, and, the left talks about, we got to be more open. We got to be more caring. He never argued with people. He stated facts, as you always did as mayor. And he laid out the facts to somebody that was opposed to this or that. And he always gave me a chance to talk. One thing you taught me was, if you're going to look at something, get both sides of the story. And if you're leaning towards one way, give him a longer time to talk about it. And that's what Charlie did.
Yeah.
So we're talking about freedom of speech. we're talking about freedom of speech. Charlie was a advocate of, you know, letting people speak their minds. And then we realize, and God forgive me, how stupid they are, what they stand for, and what their beliefs are. And it's not the ideology, it is what they base it on. There's no research. They follow a group. And that's how gangs are formed, sir.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you and I in South America worked so many times. And I know tomorrow the president of the Dominican Republic loves you and has implemented so many things that you believe in, is going to talk to you.
Yeah,
But,
we met him as a young man, John, when he
oh,
was
sir,
dreaming about doing it, and now he's doing it, right?
he's done it.
Yeah.
Comstat. Yeah, so many. Mayor, this is the funniest thing. This is a great president that sent his kids to Notre Dame, NYU. He's an economist. And guess what he did with the Haitian problem? You and I talked about this the other night. He built a wall.
Right. He built a wall.
Why? Because he is inspired by President Trump.
President of the Dominican Republic.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. Okay.
He built a wall.
Walls work.
And I'm going there on Saturday to look at it. And he's put the army there. This sounds a little strange because it sounds like President Trump.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I wonder where he got it from.
Schumer and Pelosi used to be in favor of it.
Oh, you said that the other night.
Yeah.
Everybody was for it until they were against it.
And they all have fences in front of their house and walls.
But can you believe the rhetoric that's out there today about Charlie?
No, I think that's disgusting. I mean,
I think it's absolutely horrible. AOC, is not a good person.
No.
The mob that is against
Princess of Baltimore.
Yeah, but the mob that is against, I watched you work with Peter Vallone.
Who was the Democratic head of the city council, the speaker of the city council.
You worked with him. And you guys would sit there. Much like Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, but he was a good man, not like the Princess of Baltimore.
Yeah, but you learn from
Nancy
the great
Dalton
president. You learn from the President Reagan on how to negotiate. And you did the same thing. And everybody gives you credit on September 11th, which is well-deserved.
Yeah, well, you deserve a lot of it, too.
Nah,
you kept me alive. Of course, you almost killed me when you pushed me down the block.
Well, I didn't do that to you.
This is an Irish football player. You got to understand.
I know Ted. Ted took very good care of you.
Yeah.
And Ted informed the public. And Ted, I said, the president of the Dominican Republic asked me, "How's Rudy? How's Rudy?" And I sent you a press release.
Well, good.
And he says, "Thank God."
And
Ted, how are you feeling?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, John. It ain't about me. I'm fine. My only thought is, how is the mayor doing? The person in the other car. But I swear, I think the liberal media didn't believe it at first, and we were backed up by police. We literally stopped in the middle of the night. We see a woman on the side of the road, and this is important for folks to hear after what we saw in Charlotte and the inaction of every individual near that woman. Mayor Giuliani refused, in the middle of the night, dark, pitch black, on a highway outside of Manchester, New Hampshire, and we stopped. And the mayor was not going to leave and had that on his conscience. And
Ted, welcome to my world.
Well,
we would walk. We would drive by squeegee people.
Oh gosh, yeah, I can't. Oh god.
he get off of 96th Street on the FDR,
What?
and
And
he
you're
would
taking
look
a
at
risk.
squeegee people, and in a very strong, stern way, he would tell the police department, "What the hell's going on here? They
Yeah.
need to go."
Yeah.
And he would drive by a park and see rubbish. Poor Henry Stern would get like, "Henry, this park looks like hell." And Henry had to answer it.
Yeah.
But that is a leader.
Yes.
That is a man that is on boots on the ground. And if May Giuliani didn't stop that night, I'm like, nah, that's not the same mayor.
Oh,
No, that's
right.
not him. He's gonna stop,
Right.
especially for a woman or a child,
Yes.
even an animal. He's an animal lover.
Yeah. Oh,
He had
he is.
That's true.
he loves goalie. He loved all his pets. This is a man that cared for the city.
No, we got to, John. This is too much.
No, and I want
love
to
you.
no, but this is important because John
love you.
understands what I went through that night, and I haven't really gone into detail on this, and I'm not going to right now. But my goodness, right? I'll be honest. I didn't necessarily look. I was with the mayor. I wanted to stop as well. He's given me more courage than anyone ever. But I had I had so many red flags in my head, right? The side of the road. There's another person with a light behind her that I can't see, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm very much look. I wanted to stop. We stopped.
John. It ended up that she was beating the guy up.
So we did it. Yeah, that's the crazy part. Of the story.
You know what?
She got arrested.
But no,
She got arrested.
She got arrested. He went to the hospital in an ambulance.
One more point I have to make, right? Because I was asked by numerous people since that day, that night.
It's a crazy story.
Why'd you stop? Why'd you guys stop? And the mayor, without skipping a beat, why wouldn't you stop? Right?
She had his blood. She had his blood and his skin under her nails. She ripped his whole face. She ripped his whole face.
I will never forget that. I mean, my
Ed,
goodness.
you got to understand one thing. This is a man who had to cut budgets. In the first year, I was newly assigned to his detail. And I said, "Sir, there are protesters in front of Gracie Mansion." I says, "I could get you in the back way, no problem." He goes, "The hell with that. That's my house. I'm going through the front door." And that's how he doesn't care.
You know exactly.
He's not afraid. He went after the mob.
Right.
He went after Wall Street. And he just the man and it made me feel so good today to see maybe not great, but the governor of New York come and shake his hand.
Yeah.
Right.
But that is respect that will not be given to too many Republicans.
And John, he gets it. By the way, I've been with him for 3 years. That happens everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
The Upper East Side of New York, right? These are dyed-in-the-wool liberals. You can just see it in them.
Well,
and they come up and they say they miss him. They miss him. Not because he's Republican, Democrat, like you said, because he's a leader. A leader. He's a leader. And it's important on this day, Mayor, that we say this. On this day, it's important. You didn't just come for the city of New York or America.
Right. It wasn't September 11th. It was everything he did before. He took a city that was destroyed. And Mayor, it breaks my heart.
I remember it.
To see where things are and in the future. And if this guy Mandavi wins, I just don't understand how people could be that narrow-sighted and not understand how many cops we lost to bring back the city.
Yeah.
I feel like a Vietnam veteran at times.
John, during the time I was mayor, before September 11, we had 50 cops killed.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, it's extraordinary.
When we have September 11, the numbers get crazy. But 50 cops shot. That's a lot of cops who lost their lives to make the city safe. And for this communist to now take it back is a tragedy.
Yeah. And at least the police commissioner admitted that, it wasn't COVID. It wasn't COVID. It was
I thought she gave
these
a great talk
laws,
the other day.
that they enacted. How do you have a police officer go out there and do their job if they're not indemnified? And Bernie Kerik would totally back that. Bernie Kerik would be apoplectic about the way the state laws are set up. This is a man that took Rikers, and I was out there the other day to honor those corrections officers that lost their lives after 9/11.
Oh,
A lot of
okay.
guys forget about those guys, but Bernie knew I'm gonna have. They saved so many people with the Harvey unit. They went to Fresh Kills to sift through the bodies.
Yep.
After the plane that crashed about a week after 9/11, they saw things that I saw at the morgue that crushed him. But Bernie had that place locked down. There wasn't one corrections officer that said, "My God, the mayor's greatest thing is he put Bernie Kerik here," because there was no nonsense, and the way he did it was, let's take care of our guys. I was telling him a story during a speech. I says I always remember coming on Christmas Day, and that was one of the beautiful things you always did. You recognize our first responders on Christmas Day, firefighters, police officers, and our corrections officers. And you would always have cookies and go shake hands with them because they didn't have Christmas at home. And you figured, well, if they don't, I'm the leader. I'm going to be with them. And you would deliver cookies, these trays of cookies that Jerry would make at Gracie Mansion. And you would bring it into them. And I says, I always remember when we went into the Bing, and
I remember.
and they didn't like us. I got to be honest.
No, the language was kind of
Yeah, it was probably Democratic
yeah.
on the Democratic side. But I looked at the guys that worked in the Bing, and I'm going, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2", 6'3". These guys towered over us, boss, and you're a big guy too. And we're looking at these men, and we're going, "Oh my God, where did they get these guys from?"
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
they, our corrections officers, and the sad part is, working at Tunnel Towers and what I do is what we lost since 9/11 to cancers
Oh.
is double the number in the fire department, probably 10 times the number in the police department. Port Authority, corrections officers, what we lost in this terrorist attack, and we see what's going on in the world, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's be kumbaya," sir. You know, as President Reagan said, there's you have to have the strength, and this is what our president is doing now.
Yep.
President Trump and his amazing leadership, he stopped how many wars? He's done amazing things, bringing businesses back to the United States, and he shut down the damn borders.
Yeah.
Where
Who
my
could believe
border
he could do it
agents,
that quickly, huh?
no, and our border agents are not being killed. We lose a lot of border agents. That's a very tough job, and
Yeah.
most of those guys are Hispanic.
Yeah, of course they are. You see them. You see the head of it is Hispanic. Head of the union, head of the
Right.
association,
So it's not,
commanding officer.
yeah. And to look at our agents in ICE, and to look at that amazing leadership in ICE, man, I listen to Tom speak. That is a guy you will follow.
Well,
And
John, I can't think of a better person to talk to on September 11th than the guy who helped save my life.
Well,
So thank you.
And I spoke to Patty Verone. That's why it took me a few minutes.
Give her a big hug, all right?
Yeah, because it's important to me to speak to you because.
Do you remember? You remember when she tackled the taxi driver?
Oh my
that was
God!
Running across the street to come after me because I threw Arafat out of the UN. Of course,
Yeah.
Of course, his name was Mohammed.
Well, yeah, you know how that goes.
Tackled
You
him
know,
like a Notre Dame safety.
Really?
Yeah.
Flipped him
man.
over and had him in handcuffs. When I watch these cops, struggling to put people in handcuffs, I think about Patty when she, in one motion, she tackles him, flips him over, and puts the handcuffs on him.
Yeah, but you know what? That night you showed what you stand for.
Throwing that son of a bitch out? Yeah.
You're like, I don't care. And the State Department crucified you wrongly again.
Yeah, sure.
For doing the right thing. I am not going to sit there and have a terrorist at a social gathering for people that want peace.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's gone.
Yeah, I get
it's like when we were in Ukraine. We were in Ukraine. We basically got kicked out of the country. And
you remember that?
Oh, I surely do. But you never wavered. I also remember in Serbia where they asked you about the bombings and what did you think about it? And you're like, no, I'm back to the United States. And then the rest of our events got canceled for the day. And I'm like, hey, boss, I think we got another issue. But you never waver. You speak from your heart. You speak from your experience.
We're going to do just a special interview about the trips.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Okay.
Well,
John,
sorry.
God bless you.
All right. The president's looking forward to speaking to you tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it also. God bless.
All right. God bless you. Ted, heal yourself. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, John. And thank you for all you've done for the city, the nation, and really the world. September 11th.
Well, I had a great leader.
Yeah, and I had great support.
Well, thank you, John.
That's the way it works. You know that?
Well,
that's why the president's successful.
And I have to say, Mayor, the
president's successful. It has a great team too.
And the people I've met, people that have worked with you throughout your career at different points, part of your teams, and to a person, just stand up guys and women, and these are people I would follow into any battle. I can say that, John being one of them, and the way you talk about this man and what I've read about him, he is a true American hero, and man, they just don't make them like you and John anymore, Mayor. They really don't.
That's a big problem that they don't.
And that is a big problem for our country in the future. And so we gotta look to you and John and people like you and learn.
When we have a president like President Trump, they're gonna feel like they can come out of the woodwork.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I
think right.
We're going to find that there are more people than you think that that feel that way.
Right.
So let's
unfortunately
catch people up.
Yeah.
We really have about 10 minutes more.
Right.
So let's catch people up on some of the things that they might not be told by the crooked media. One is that remember when the president was coming into office and the crooked, perverted, disgusting, lying, demented Biden said that he would ruin NATO? Well, NATO is stronger than it's ever been. They have more money than they've ever had. They got a commitment of 5% of GDP from every member. They didn't meet 2%. Do you know the difference? It's already at 3%. Do you know what a tremendous ally that is for us, as opposed to a useless ally that we have to support the way the Democrats make people dependent? It's one thing to have a bunch of countries and it's just really a burden for you. Another thing to have a bunch of countries like Israel that can fight next to you and help you win a war. Well, that's what's happening in Europe. So I think we told you last night that the Russians, and I knew they would do this, they went over the line in Poland with their drones, and they sent them into Poland. That's a violation for us, of the NATO treaty. Any NATO country attacked, we all have to respond and help. Today we did. NATO shot down the Russian drones, every single one of them in Poland. And anything manned, they're going to shoot down also. Quick answer to Putin. You keep sending those drones over, and we'll go into Russia. And it's time to let Zelensky go into Russia. It's been too long that the Ukrainian people have been used as punching bags. It's time for them to be able to punch back in Russia, and they can do a lot of damage in Russia and shake him up. Because if you think he's secure in the leadership of that country, then you don't know you don't know anything about Russia. He's like Iran. There's no one in the last 70 years that's been in charge of Russia that's secure. They're a very, very disturbed group of people. And you would be too if you lived under the Tsar and the Bolsheviks and Lenin and Stalin and Khrushchev and now this murderer. So if you look at the map here, you'll see what happened. Can we put that on?
Yeah, it's on.
So you see those little circles on the map? That's where the drones came over the border. They came over the Ukraine border there in the south. The Russian border in the north looks like the Belarus border in the middle. And they got as deep into, they got about halfway into Poland in loads. Every one of them was blown out of the air by NATO, not just Poland, but by NATO forces, because they all came to the defense of Poland. And if they go into Lithuania, the same thing is going to happen to them. And if they go into Estonia, the same thing will happen to them. Those Ukraine and Belarus are not part of NATO. Now you notice how Russia has that strange little interruption of Lithuania right on the coast of the Baltic Sea. That's part of Russia. I don't know what the hell that's doing as part of Russia. I don't know. Maybe we should go in there and just take it and tell them we'll take that for what you took in Ukraine. But it's time to start dealing with them for what they are, which is mass murderers. You got to stand up to these people. Notice there were drone parts found as north. They're going up to Norway there. I mean, Europe's not going to tolerate this. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's turning a whole continent against him. I mean, he had a pretty good relationship with Europe, meaning Putin, as of 2 years ago. So this war cost Ukraine a lot, but don't think that it hasn't cost Russia a lot. It's a much weaker country today than it was 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, it's got the only friends that it has are communist maniacs and failing economies like theirs. I mean, China is a failing economy. China's got 700-800 million people that are in third, fourth world poverty. At some point, you got to factor that into their economy and cut it in half. And even at the level that it's at now, our economy is double theirs. So I just don't see. I just don't see the point of what Russia is doing. And we can almost let them do it, except innocent people are dying. I mean, now it's useless. They're theoretically, they're on the verge of a peace agreement, and he's killing children. Or is he just a sadistic son of a bitch? I don't know why all these people think Putin's a good guy. I just don't get it. There's nothing about him that's good. There's everything about him that's evil. And I think maybe you got to start working at it from that point of view. Doesn't mean you don't talk to him. Doesn't mean you don't make a deal with him. but it doesn't mean that you ever trust him or give him any leeway.
Right. And there's a difference between being aware of someone's strengths as a strong man, right? And respecting them as a leader. You can make yourself aware of Putin's strengths as a strong man, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you respect him as a leader or glorify him.
If you didn't acknowledge the fact that he's a very, very strong and effective leader of his country.
For his
he's also dictatorial, homicidal, insane,
bloodthirsty.
Want a few more?
Bloodthirsty. I threw that in there.
Bloodthirsty, a total crook.
You said you saw it.
Probably stole everything that isn't locked down in Russia.
You said you felt it in his eyes when he came.
I felt it when I met him at Ground Zero back in 2001. He came there probably late, like in early November or late October. He came with an entourage of about 80 cars. It was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They were lined up almost to 42nd Street. And then he walked in, and I spent a pleasant hour with him, but it wasn't a time to be spending a pleasant hour with somebody.
Right.
He seemed to be one of the least concerned or legitimately affected people that was there. Wow. And I attribute that to his background. He's a professional killer.
Right.
So the death that he was seeing didn't mean anything to him. It wasn't just his hatred of us. It was intellectually, he was against Islamic terrorism.
Right. And I mean, that just came after Chechnya.
Southern Russia. He was killing them like crazy in Southern Russia.
Chechnya.
Yeah.
And that was just the year before.
You could tell this idea that they got killed is just another thing. They got killed, so what?
Right.
And that's part of the price you got to pay to be in the world with these crazy Muslims.
And that's one thing and I'm sure you would back this up as his longtime friend. President Trump understands that with this guy.
Yes.
He's not silly. He understands who he's dealing with when it comes to Putin.
Oh, and I think he's had it. I think the president has had it. You can already see that changes are happening incrementally, but the hit on China is a big hit on Russia, which is that we're charging 100%, whether you want to call it a tax or a tariff, on everything from China, because they are buying Russian oil. They're going to stop buying Russian oil. They stop buying Russian oil. 50% of Russia's oil stays in the ground. India is going to stop even before that. They buy 37% of Russia's oil. Now we're down to about what, 18%? They can't survive on selling 18% of their oil. And who the hell is going to buy that? People that think they can get away with the United States finding them and taking them out of the world banking system. These are real threats that you and I probably don't appreciate because we don't do that level of finance. What I'm telling you maybe is more devastating than a military attack. Because the one thing that Russian czars and dictators leads to their being overthrown is starvation.
The people
you look at the Russian revolutions in the beginning of the 20th century.
France.
You look at the final Russian Soviet revolution. It was about not being able to get food.
And the people,
and they're pretty close to that now. And there's going to come a point at which China will stop subsidizing them. And if China stops subsidizing them, the only way they can produce money is by selling oil at a profit. They are right now selling it at a loss. Pretty soon they're not going to be able to sell it. And then they're going to want Putin's head.
And Mayor,
that's when he acts, because the one thing he is very practical.
And you pointed this out, and that's why, folks, shameless plug of this program, the mayor's telling you like it is. Xi Jinping has this guy by the cojones. He's got Kim Jong-un basically on a leash. And the mayor points this out. But the media doesn't seem to, right? They just show these guys in their big parade, and oh my goodness, look what Trump's doing.
Every single weapon that Xi Jinping showed, he stole from the United States.
Right. It's a it's basically a knockoff
they'd be
version.
Incapable of designing any of those.
Right. And they're not.
They're great imitators. They're terrible creators.
And you know this more than I, with your background in that, Mayor. Our equipment, our technology is built to last, right, in the long run. they cut corners.
Several generations ahead of
Right. They cut corners. They want the cheapest, whatever they can get. Where our technology, and sure, this probably is a little bit of American bias, but it's just the
reason
truth.
for us not to be alarmed and to say they have a bigger Navy, so we have to catch them. They're trying to get ahead in AI, but we still are ahead, so we're going to have to get way ahead. Not bad to act scared and build, but if you want the reality, they just, I mean, they don't even have a battle-tested army.
Exactly, right? They
Army hasn't stopped fighting since the Second World War.
Yeah, for better or for worse, right? I mean, that's a good point, Mayor. The Chinese army, and my goodness, all we have to do is tell them, hey, Japan's around the corner, and they're going to run. They'll run and hide.
When you get the what were those women that were dressed up in those crazy costumes? Are they men or what do you call them?
Come
Gay queens or
drag queens?
Drag queens, yeah. They used to have drag queens giving lectures in the military.
Where?
Oh, in the bases.
Here?
Sure, it was part of Biden.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh.
The Secretary of Defense, whose name Biden couldn't remember,
and who was himself seemingly off the job every other month.
Yeah, and then the other one, Milley, who thought that the most important thing to get our military ready is to understand the sensitivity of transgender.
To this day, I don't know.
That really helps a guy that's going to have to kill Russians knowing about transgender.
Right. I mean, my goodness, just another reason. Can you imagine 4 more years?
Does that mean like if you're on the battlefield and you meet up with a Russian who's transgender, you don't kill him? You let him kill you, or let her kill you?
Can you imagine?
Do you go in the bathroom with her? I don't know.
Right. It's absurd. And thank goodness we have
our military only has a certain amount of time to prepare.
Right.
If what they're preparing for is figuring out what bathroom.
Yeah, and who they're offending.
It doesn't exactly help. It doesn't help the concentration on the mission.
It makes you wonder, how do you get all those medals? I mean, Milley had more medals on that uniform. I mean, my goodness, the guy is like weighted down by these medals. Right. He has every little.
Oh, Milley?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you could wear Boy Scout medals.
Right. He had it looked like a bunch of merit badges. And look, all right, I want to be careful here. I didn't serve, so I don't want to be too. But he waded into
politics. You don't have to be careful.
He waded into politics.
Also, you weren't a traitor.
Right. And
he was.
Right. Right.
He's a complete absolute traitor, protected by the left-wing press.
Well, we would have been better off if he didn't serve. Well, Mayor, unfortunately, we should maybe give some updates. Speaking of the United States military, we've been following this all evening. A shooting on the campus of the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. Again, we'll see if there's any updates as we close out tonight. This follows in
anything new on Charlotte,
and we'll try to get to Charlotte as well.
Right.
It's been a little quiet here. The U.S. Naval Academy is still on lockdown. It is still on lockdown as military police.
Is the guy on campus, or is he? Are they searching him somewhere else?
The latest we have here is that
Charlotte mayor stays silent on Trump's death penalty.
Oh.
That's
what is she in favor of? An award for the killer?
Probably.
An award for this guy. Here he is. Right there.
Oh, sorry.
I want you to look at the one that the Democrat idiot woman mayor of Charlotte. She kind of worried about the death penalty for this guy. There he is, right there. And here are his accomplices. See these people? Not a single one of them does a damn thing. I believe the girl's already been stabbed.
Yeah.
Because she didn't look around until after she was stabbed.
At that point, she looks scared, but actually, she is mortally wounded.
She's bleeding out.
Yes.
And then she's eventually going to fall down.
Yeah.
Now, look at the three, I don't know what you call them.
Cowards.
Certainly lacking the status of a human being on the left-hand side, since they're looking at her in a curious way as she dies. Afraid to do anything to interrupt.
We can call them cowards.
This insane murderer.
We can call them cowards.
By the way, his brother disputes the fact that he's mentally ill. The governor treats him like
good.
We should give
Sick
more
of that
sympathy
excuse.
to him than to the young girl because he's mentally ill.
I'm sick of that.
What the hell good does it do me if you tell me the guy is mentally ill and kill my kid?
Yeah.
And he's going to kill your kid. I don't give a damn if he's mentally ill. Get him the hell off the streets. Execute him. Get rid of him. If there's any chance he's going to do this again, execute him.
Enough. And we've done enough of this.
And with the liberal judges they elect in these places or governors, somebody will put them out on parole. Since Cuomo signed the change in parole and probation and all that in 2018, 42 cop killers have been released from federal penitentiary or the state penitentiary. 42. These are people we were assured were going to stay in jail for the rest of their lives. And at the time that we were assured it, I knew it wasn't true.
Right.
Because there is a sick, evil tendency within many of the progressive or whatever you call them Democrats to argue for the benefits of criminals to the detriment of innocent people. It's one thing if you're just arguing for their benefit, but if you're arguing that they should be out, and every time they're out, before you catch them again, they rape 10 people. What kind of a sick person are you? Well, that's your modern Democrat.
They hate people.
So she's worried that this guy's going to get the death penalty? It'll probably prevent 3 or 4 more people from being killed.
I think they hate themselves.
And there's no way you can let this guy out on the street because the citizens are on his side. I mean, after he finished this, he walked down the aisle saying, "I got the white girl." The mayor also covered that up for 2.5 weeks. Because that completely contradicts the narrative that the Marxist communists want to teach you that we're a white racist society. Gee, maybe the racism is really on the other side. What do you think? You know the difference proportionally in white on black murder and black on white murder? It's almost impossible to calculate. Basically, whites very rarely kill blacks, and blacks routinely kill whites.
And blacks.
Oh, they more routinely kill blacks than anything.
Yeah.
They're the biggest cause of death to a black youngster is an older black.
And
now,
if we said that
I'm only saying that so they'll fix it.
Because you care. Because you care about them.
If you fail to say it, you're never going to fix it.
But they'll spin that. And
you're never going to fix it.
And 2 years ago, we would have been kicked off of this platform for saying that.
Yeah.
We have to remember that. We would have been kicked off of this platform for saying the truth. Well, Mayor, we do need, I know we're running out of time here. We do, we pride ourselves in giving our viewers the most up-to-date, accurate information. We are now being told, and this is why we were right to exercise caution throughout news of this event, that there is no credible threat to the Naval Academy, and there never was, potentially.
Nobody got shot?
So this, according to WBAL-TV Baltimore, there is no credible threat to the U.S. Naval Academy, Governor Westmore's office said. In a statement just after 9 p.m., a U.S. naval official said at 5:07 p.m., Naval Support Activity Annapolis Security, in coordination with local law enforcement, responded to reports of suspicious activity on the Naval Academy grounds. There is no active shooter threat. However, one person was injured while naval security forces were clearing a building. One person has been medevaced with injuries. They are in stable condition. We will provide updates as they become available. One person was wounded.
By what?
By naval security forces as they were.
What do they mean? There's no credible threat if a person was shot.
A midshipman who was thrown out of the academy made anonymous threats through social media using an IP address in an attempt to make it seem like he was at the academy.
Was somebody shot?
Students were placed on lockdown out of an abundance of caution.
Who went to the hospital?
A midshipman who was sheltered in place thought a member of law enforcement was a threat and hit him with a training weapon. Law enforcement then shot the midshipman, who was at a hospital and expected to recover. So this is quite interesting, and it's a whole different story. We were right to be cautious. We were right to let it play out, report what we were seeing, but not reporting it as fact. And so that's the latest. Maybe an ounce of good news on what's just
maybe very different tomorrow. So we better just
let
let
it be reserve. Put that one on reserve. And then a quick couple other updates. We just want to remind folks that the FBI has released these photos in relation to the horrific murder of Charlie Kirk. We're putting these up one more time real quick. These two photos, share these with everyone you know, especially in Utah tonight, and call 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have anything to report. And err on the side of caution. If you truly feel you have something here, give them a call. And then, of course, Mayor, today marks 24 years since one of the darkest days in this nation's history. And so we just, it's important, as we've done all day and as you do on a regular basis, honor those.
It's going to be one of the darkest days in our history now, with the slaughter of Charlie Kirk. Whether you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, why was it? We don't know for sure all of the reasons, but it's hard to believe that a lot of it doesn't have to do with free speech. We don't know exactly what part of that free speech irritated this person or motivated it. And it may be that it's just a completely insane person and we're wrong. But it does appear as if this guy who just wanted to engage in dialogue and get us to do what we should be doing, which is talk to each other. And we're not going to talk to each other in a completely agreeable way, because we're going to have to, if we did that, we would be giving up our principles. There's going to be a certain amount of tension in our talking to each other. But that doesn't mean you get to kill people, which is the point that Charlie tried to make over and over again. And here he gets killed for it. We think. Again, we don't have the final story on this yet. It looks like the Naval Academy thing, if that's correct, was about as screwed up as it gets. But you know, in a way, you have to understand we're in a very difficult time where people are going to panic very quickly, right?
Yeah, especially after that.
Yeah, people are going to panic after Charlotte and Charlie Kirk, and when they see cadets running around, they're going to assume the worst.
Right. I mean, with what's happened, but
now look, what it caused is that whole incident with the cadet who appears to have been
on edge.
Number one, wrongly reacting, and number two, incorrectly shot.
Yeah. Right.
But because of his actions.
So a lot to be said there. We'll have all of this for you tomorrow night. We'll definitely have a full update on what's happening there.
It's understandable that people overreact, but let me warn you that overreaction is dangerous. I try very, very hard, as Ted will tell you, even when we're reacting to it as a story, to tell everybody around me, calm down.
Yeah, you did do that.
Take it down. You go below your emotional level. You can analyze better if you pretend you're calm. If you give into the emotion of seeing Charlie shot, you're never going to have an opportunity to save his life. So it's really important, even in a general way, in reporting these things. You can report it, just constantly remind people it might not be correct.
Right.
That's and most often it's for innocent reasons. Sometimes it's completely staged, like when they try to cover up a Muslim doing a killing or a transgender person doing a killing, or sometimes black on white, like they did in Charlotte, where they held the tape back for 3 weeks. I mean, that's just pure corruption. But most often these things happen. I think probably the thing at the Naval Academy happened because of confusion. Emergencies are inherently confusing. So we conclude on the 24th anniversary of September 11 by remembering them, remembering the people who died on September 11, the innocent people who died, because it gives you an idea of what Islamic terrorism is all about. Some guy opened up his computer at 8:45 in the morning, trying to get ready to work on his computer. All of a sudden, before he knows it, the building is shaking And he's got 10 more minutes to live for a reason that he has no idea what it is. What's the reason? The reason is that 1,400, 1,500 years ago, a maniac named Mohammed established this religion that told them that they should kill people in order to take over the world. Now, many of them don't believe it anymore, but many of them do. And the ones who believe it don't condemn effectively the people who do. And instead, they'll side with Hamas over Israel. When in fact, Hamas is part of their problem. It's affecting the way people look at all of them because they don't stand against them. It's a complete reversal of the way decent people should think. And somebody has to really, really, honestly confront this religion, because when President Bush, who I love and I believe did a great job after September 11th, but when he said Islam is a peaceful religion, President Bush was dead wrong. It is at the core a violent religion. That the violent part has to be exercised. And you've got to recognize that you're doing it. Otherwise, you'll accommodate yourself to it. You won't be violent, but you'll defend the people who are. And try to attribute their wrongdoing to somebody else, which is what they've accomplished with Israel. So we face September 11 today. When I say we should never forget, it's not like the Holocaust, which is confined to history now. It's an ongoing threat. And let me just qualify that. The Holocaust may be confined to history, but the desire to kill the Jewish people seems alive and well. And we're going to do everything we can to stop that, aren't we? Because this has gone on way too long. Of course it has. So pray for us. Pray for all of us so that we can find enough goodwill to end up with a peaceful world that's safe for our children. And you can see that President Trump is focused on that, laser-like. We haven't had a president focused on it laser-like in my memory. Pray for the people that are right on the front lines, like the people in Ukraine. Probably some of them will get killed tonight for no reason, because Putin is a homicidal maniac that we coddle. People are going to get killed probably in Israel on either side. And people in Ukraine are going to starve to death. So pray for them all. Pray for us. Pray for the brave souls who had to deal with September 11, and pray for the President of the United States. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 on Lindell TV and at 8 on X. God bless America.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time. We Who can say why your heart sighs as your love flies? Only time. And who can say why your heart cries when your love lies? Only time. Who can say when the roads meet that love might be in your heart? And who can say when the day sleeps if the night keeps all your heart?
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze